Namaste, it's Iyada, Vedic astrologer, with my forecast for the very potent upcoming new moon that falls on Sunday, August 4th, on the 18th degree of sidereal Cancer, which is the placement of the brightest star within the constellation of Ashlesha. And Mercury, the ruling planet of Ashlesha, finds itself, together with Venus, in the sign of sidereal Leo, in the constellation of Maga. Ashlesha is the lunar mansion with which the water sign of Cancer ends, and Maga is the next lunar mansion with which the fire sign of Leo begins. Both embrace the Gandanta point or karmic knot between Cancer and Leo, related to the third eye. The moon renews itself on a very special, sensitive and transformative point. Ashlesha is known in the West as the constellation of Hydra, the water serpent, and the Nagas or divine serpents are the presiding deity of Ashlesha. It is a constellation that correlates to our spine, and the new moon is an invitation to recalibrate our nervous system and ignite the inner vision and wisdom that the third eye holds. The wisdom goddess, in whose portion of the sky the moon renews itself, is Gora, known as the terrifying one, because she is a fierce form of Kali, who does not fear intense experiences. On the other hand, Mercury, the ruler of Ashlesha and of this new moon, falls in the sky in the domain of Sati, the goddess who sacrificed herself out of love and devotion and for upholding Dharma in this world. And the Shakti or power of Ashlesha is the ability to embrace the poison. This new moon is not for the faint-hearted, because it exposes us to an emotional intensity that requires the digestion of poisonous experiences which might have taken place in our childhood, perhaps in the womb of our mother, in past lives, or in our family tree. Something lives in our DNA, in our nervous system, that has to do with exhaustion, most probably out of love, devotion, or attachment, or with closeness to death, with the stigma of being an outcast, or with black magic or curses that we either spelled out or suffered. But to regain our strengths and genuine gifts, we must overcome what happened, learn from it, grow, evolve, and let go. This new moon asks us to be as genuine, unique, different, and perhaps strange as we really are, and offer our unique talents to the world. And this is not easily done, because Ashlesha is not only the most deep, sensitive and intuitive nakshatra of all, but also the most private and introverted. Yet, we are called to leave our comfort zone, our hiding place, our safe cave, and go out into the world with our special talent. Ashlesha natives are protectors of the earth and guardians of all sacred knowledge, and they may experience their destiny as an amazing blessing as well as a big challenge or curse, because they cannot get rid of their heightened sensitivity and perception. We all may feel more sensitive in these days around the new moon to the different vibrations and sensations around, especially to sounds and noise, and this can be easily overwhelming. It is important that we take time to be alone, in silence, in nature, to recenter and realign ourselves. We are shedding our skin, letting go of false identities, of armors we put on to protect ourselves, and we must renounce attachments that bind us to people, places, and core beliefs about ourselves. Ashlesha is known as the clinging star, very prone to deep connections with others, but also prone to attachments which provide some kind of security, but on the other hand, restrain our freedom and necessary independence. Ashlesha is the birth star of Ketu, the lunar south node, who governs Magha Nakshatra, where Venus and Mercury, the ruler of Ashlesha, dwell on this new moon. And Ketu teaches us detachment, so we may live detached from but connected to everything and everyone. We are asked to let go of all restrictions and of all tensions that our body or mind may hold and meld back into the very matrix of creation. Serpents have a very flexible body and are easily adaptable. Wherefore, Ashlesha is a lunar mansion that brings forth great dancers, yogis, as well as tantric practitioners and kundalini teachers. With this new moon, we must stay open and flexible for deep change and transformation, and we must flow with the movement, with the vibration that wants to come through us. This is a special moment for loving self-care and for relaxing deeply into the spiral body of creation. The spiral form of the coiled serpent at the base of our spine can be found everywhere in nature, from snail shells, flower petals, and pine cones to storms, our very DNA, and our galaxy itself. We must become again soft and round and fluid, and come home in our body to the living spiral as the original matrix of creation. My suggestion is to make a tea of bay leaves. We can drink part of the tea and use the rest as a spray for our room, apartment, and aura. We may also anoint the point between our eyebrows with laurel oil and meditate with blue sodalite or azurite gemstones while listening to old solfeggio frequences. I will put a link in the description box. In meditation, our primary focus should be the melting into a mode of being held and receiving. Slowing down, we always relax our tongue, drop our bottom lip slightly, and let go of all facial expressions. We let our face hang, soften our belly, and with every out-breath, we press in a very subtle way against the vagus nerve in front of our spinal cord. We let go of the surface and relax into the back of our body. We melt into our spine and start to feel or trace the shape of a very delicate spiral movement that lullabies us into the warmth of creation. That place is a place of awakening, reawakening, where our intuition can blossom and the voice of the spiritual lineage to which we belong can come through. Magha, the nakshatra where Mercury and Venus are located, is the astral realm where our spiritual ancestors dwell, and a very spiritual lunar mansion. Known in the West as the royal star of Regulus in the heart of the constellation of the Lion, Magha represents the spiritual throne of our very being. It is a place of huge responsibility where we must abide by the rules of our spiritual lineage and our Dharma. And it is a place of magical and spiritual powers, siddhis, that we must handle carefully. There is, on one hand, and related to Mercury in Magha, the mightiness of words and even thoughts, because they have the power to create reality, to heal as well as to hurt. On the other hand, Venus, who governs the water element, is exposed to the heat of the fire sign of Leo, and she might feel, we may experience certain pressure to burn in order to be reborn in her and our full light. That is not easy. We are on an ongoing, demanding journey to our true self. Saturn stands in opposition to Venus and Mercury, and Saturn squares Jupiter, who is conjunct Mars in sidereal Taurus. Jupiter carries the story of the reincarnations of our soul, and Saturn holds the memories of where we have been, the structure upon which our current life is built on. When Saturn and Jupiter are in square, they challenge us to confront whatever blockage might be there, and they push us to ignite our higher nature. Fire and water come together in this new moon. If we have the courage to face whatever blockage is there and allow ourselves to flow with the spiral movement of light up from the base chakra to the heart chakra, and from there to the pineal gland above the medulla oblongata in the deep center of our brain, we may experience a wider opening of our third eye. The pineal gland is very sensitive to electromagnetic fields and waves and responds to light, outer as well as inner light. The pineal gland produces, when it is dark outside, melatonin, a hormone that controls our circadian rhythm and sleep, and is an important player in the regulation of our kidney function, blood pressure, and glucose homeostasis. During daytime, the pineal gland secretes serotonin, a feel-good hormone that makes us feel more focused, emotionally stable, happier and calmer, while low levels of serotonin are associated with depression. Probably so many people suffer from depression nowadays because the pineal gland does not work properly in most cases. Due to our modern lifestyle with so much artificial light and toxic stuff in our food and in the air that we breathe, the pineal gland has shrunk from its original 3 centimeters to a few millimeters and has calcified in most people, which means that this important gland does not function properly. Our left and right eye perceive the outer world, but the pineal gland or third eye looks into the inner reality and other more subtle dimensions of existence. for which time and space are no limitation at all. It is the doorway to our very being and to all its wisdom, guidance, and the answers that we seek for ourselves and for the sake of others who ask for our assistance, perhaps. More so, the pineal gland produces not only serotonin and melatonin, but also, when the gland is healthy and functioning properly, and when the inner light ignites the pineal gland, DMT, a powerful neurotransmitter that not only allows neurons to communicate with each other throughout our nervous system, but is also a natural hallucinogenic substance that is spontaneously secreted at birth, at death, and during spiritual experiences of samadhi and bliss. And with DMT naturally in our nervous system, we are able to see far beyond our normal human self, because we are and we can experience that we are one single consciousness, a consciousness that is connected to all other living beings. This knowing increases naturally our empathy and our compassion, and is probably the only way to heal from all the conflicts and wars that the world and human beings are suffering from. For many or some of us, this new moon is a golden opportunity for recalibrating our nervous system, and most probably the starting point of a new stage in which we develop more fully a unique gift and grow more wholly into the role that life and our spiritual lineage want us to fulfill. This lunar cycle is a sacred time frame of awakening. However demanding or confusing life gets right now, something deep within us is prepared to handle whatever comes up, and will and wants to remember who we truly are. Many blessings for this very special new moon. Take care and see you soon. Namaste.